The Middle East is on the edge of a major war. Iran and Israel, longtime enemies, have moved from shadow conflict to open warfare. Global powers like the US and Russia are now involved, raising the stakes for everyone. On June 13, 2025, Israel struck Iran's nuclear sites, shattering years of uneasy restraint. Iran responded with ballistic missiles targeting Israel directly. The world fears a wider war, one that could disrupt oil supplies, trigger a humanitarian crisis, and even risk nuclear confrontation. The US supports Israel but is wary of being drawn into another Middle East war. Russia, with interests in Iran and the region, warns against escalation. Both sides see themselves as acting in self-defense. Israel to prevent a nuclear Iran, Iran to defend its sovereignty. The international community is calling for calm, but leaders in Tehran and Jerusalem are doubling down. Every move is being watched, every miscalculation could spark a global crisis. The region's stability, and the world's, hangs in the balance. Oil prices are already rising, and millions could be displaced if war spreads. The next days will shape the future of the Middle East. Understanding the motives of each player is crucial to grasping the gravity of this crisis. Iran's answer to Israel's strikes was immediate and fierce. Supreme Leader Khamenei vowed severe punishment, and Iran unleashed waves of missiles at Israel. Tehran's message, no negotiations under fire, and any US intervention will ignite the region. Iran is leveraging its network of proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis and others, to threaten new fronts. The sheer volume of Iranian missiles is testing Israel's defenses, with more getting through. Iran's strategy is clear. Show it can inflict real damage and sustain a fight. Its axis of resistance multiplies pressure, forcing Israel and the US to stretch their resources. By threatening chaos, Iran hopes to deter deeper US involvement. The risk a multi-front war that could spiral beyond anyone's control. Iran's defiance is reshaping the conflict and the region's future. The world is watching to see if anyone will blink. Israel calls its strikes on Iran self-defense, aiming to stop a nuclear threat. Prime Minister Netanyahu insists Israel will act as long as needed, targeting nuclear and military sites. The attacks have killed senior Iranian figures, but Iran accuses Israel of hitting civilian areas. Israel claims Iran uses civilians as shields, complicating the international response. Netanyahu's leadership is defined by his hardline stance. For him, this is about survival and legacy. Israel is betting on its military edge and US support to withstand Iranian retaliation. But this gamble risks a prolonged multi-front war. The Israeli public is bracing for escalation, knowing the stakes are existential. Every strike and counterstrike raises the risk of a wider regional conflict. Israel's strategy may delay Iran's nuclear ambitions, but at what cost? The world wonders how far Netanyahu is willing to go. Russia, allied with Iran, warns the US to stay out, fearing a nuclear disaster. Moscow offers to mediate, hoping to protect its interests and boost its influence. Russia's unique ties to both Iran and Israel make it a key player in back-channel talks. Meanwhile, the US faces a tough choice: support Israel or avoid another Middle East war. US forces are on alert, but President Trump hesitates, wary of triggering a wider conflict. Secretary of State Rubio insists the US wasn't involved in Israel's initial strikes. Washington's support is vital for Israel, but direct intervention could ignite a regional war. American troops across the region are at risk if fighting spreads. The administration must balance alliance commitments with the dangers of escalation. Both superpowers are maneuvering carefully, knowing the consequences could be catastrophic. The world waits to see who will make the next move. As Iran and Israel clash, Yemen's Houthi rebels open a southern front. Backed by Iran, the Houthis attack ships in the Red Sea and launch missiles at Israel. Their actions disrupt global trade and serve Iran's strategy of stretching enemy resources. The US has already struck Houthi targets, but the rebels remain resilient. Iran's support turns the Houthis into a persistent, low-cost threat. The Houthi front shows how Iran uses proxies to wage asymmetric war. Their attacks force the US and allies to fight on multiple fronts. As the main conflict intensifies, the Houthis' role is likely to grow. Their actions could draw in more countries and widen the war. Even a small rebel group can have global impact in this volatile moment. The next Houthi move could tip the region into uncontrollable chaos.